Hey, hey, hey.
Hi.
We are live.
We are.
We are a mess.
Whatever. This is what a mess looks like.
So, it's
Yes.
the Gus and Ashley show, the Ashley and Gus show with the
Ah.
couplepreneurs.
Hello.
That way,
Oh,
please.
I'm being scooted.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we just got back from a week in Fort Lauderdale. No, it was not a vacation. We were there to run two awesome conferences for our business. The first was the Digital Engagement and Social Media for Utilities Conference, and the second was a Women in Utilities event. Back to back, Monday, Tuesday for the first, Wednesday, Thursday for the second, and by Thursday afternoon, we were a little tired. And it's not that I don't love, I mean, we absolutely love what we do, but there's a point where you're running at a certain pace where you start to realize, like, this is unsustainable.
Well, it started. We did one of the couplepreneur show.
What's that?
We're the couplepreneur show today, and
Hello, Couplepreneur show.
we're going to talk about stress.
We're going to talk about stress.
And how to manage
great
stress.
Because we're kind of under a lot of stress
So-
right now.
So, yeah.
That's topical.
As Ashley said, we were in Fort Lauderdale running two events. It actually started at about Sunday at 2:00 in the afternoon with pre-set up of the room. If you've never done an event, we have a blank canvas. We walk in there and we have to figure out how to set the room to properly serve our guests, both in person and virtually. We do most of our events hybrid these days. We're not supposed to use hybrid.
Hybrid, virtual, and
Virtual
and the term
in-person.
hybrid is weird, but it's in person and it's virtual.
So we have
just ton. The checklist. So the funny thing is, if you're hosting a virtual conference, there's a certain checklist. If you're hosting an in-person conference, there's a certain checklist. When you're doing both, it's not double.
There's a third checklist.
It's like exponential because there are things that need to connect to make sure that we can be interactive. It's not, we don't just have, it's not just streaming for the virtual folks. They're actually able to interact, which is what makes it so complicated, but it's also like really awesome when it works.
So we're dealing with two live audiences.
Yes, basically. The in-person and the on Zoom, and we're trying to make sure everybody's comments are read and then the people in the room are able to connect with each other.
And it takes a lot of technology.
It takes a lot of patience.
And it takes a lot of patience. And it takes
a lot of mindfulness.
And it takes a lot of when you're setting up the room, especially with the AV. And we talk about AV. We got microphones. We got speakers. We've got cameras. We've got mixer boards. We've got
it's pretty full on
projectors and screens, and then we got the Zoom call, and we got all these other components going on.
It's a lot.
So it usually starts like Sunday afternoon, and I know we stopped working at 7:30 Sunday night, and we went to dinner, and we got up the next morning. It was like I was down in the room at 6 a.m., and next thing you know, it's Thursday afternoon. It's like, wow,
it did go by. It's funny. It went by very quickly, and in a good way, right? You know, when you're doing something that you're engaged with and having fun, that it's going really great. But
we were
Let's talk about stress.
How do you manage stress individually? How do you manage stress, Ash?
So I think the most important thing for me is to the best of my ability, I try to stick to a routine. I find comfort in the routine. So if I'm focused on taking care of myself, wake up about the same time each day. If I like tomorrow, I'm going to go for a run no matter what. I mean, unless it's raining, but it's those self-care things that if I can't take care of myself, or if I don't feel like I'm taking care of myself, I feel like I'm spinning out of control, which is not helping anything in terms of feeling stressed.
Right.
So that's a big one. How about for you?
I like to play guitar, though it didn't happen on the trip. I sometimes like to read. I used to do it all the time. I occasionally meditate. And sometimes I won't say I journal, but I do brain dumps where I take in a white piece of just a legal pad.
Yeah.
We're be honest, we're a little stressed this week. Legal pad.
Right now, actually.
Legal pad, and I write down everything that I can think of that is entering my mind and leaving my mind, and all the tasks that has to take place, and all the responsibilities. And this includes our kids.
Yes.
We have one going to college. We got one moving out to this year.
Yes, in fact, I have to cut our live short tonight because I have a senior mom meeting thing
You're
at
seeing
the
your
high
mom in.
school. No, a senior mom meeting. And I'm like, well, I guess I should actually
But I
go.
know if we go back and we do
Finally.
individual things to relieve stress.
Yeah,
We actually, one of the things we do every night, we eat late.
we do.
If we're home, we eat late if we're on the road, we eat late if we're home.
That's true.
At home, I don't start cooking till like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Right. And it's our unwind time.
And it truly is. And we talk
you
about things.
unwind, I unwind. We get a chance to kind of talk about how things went for the day, and then maybe a little bit about some advanced planning about the next day, so that we can just make sure that we're doing things on the right together, right? So that at least like, okay, tomorrow's gonna be super stressful, and I have all of this going on, and I need this from you. Then at least we have that exchange in advance, and it's not like you're throwing something on somebody.
So it's
a big surprise.
Another thing, actually runs exercise in general will relieve stress for people.
Yes.
Eating properly, we can't stress eating properly, drinking plenty of water.
Drink lots of water. I've talked to more people in the past couple of weeks who have been dealing with really bad allergies. The pollen count, at least where we are and in a lot of other places in this country, are just off the charts. It's beautiful. The blossoms are gorgeous. I don't know about anybody else, but I love this time of year. But yeah, I mean, the car is yellow, and it didn't start off that way. And the stuff's going into your body, but if you drink a lot of water, it really does help flush it through. So embrace that.
Things we do. Things we can do as a couple, and we do these as a couple.
We plan.
We go for a hike.
Yeah.
At least 2-3 times a month.
Yeah.
We live in a great area. We live near Valley Forge National Park.
Excellent hiking areas.
On Sunday, we actually walked 10 miles in Fort Lauderdale. We caught the
air show.
The air show, the United States air show. It was pretty cool down there.
Yeah.
And then we flew home, so that was sort of stressful though.
It was stressful.
What was stressful?
What was stressful?
We check out of our hotel.
We didn't have a place to
You don't have a place to live for like.
Right. So you're sort of a nomad. You're covered. We were covered in sunscreen, and we're like, you don't want to like sit on the plane slimed.
So actually, we got lucky. There was a shower at our hotel where our luggage was, and it was actually warm because it was an outdoor shower, but it was warm. So we were able to get sunscreen off us and get on the plane and sleep.
We definitely felt much more refreshed before getting on the plane than feeling all slimy from
What are some of the other things that were on here to relieve stress?
Some of the other things that in terms of relieving stress, we plan. So, sometimes I know when I get stressed out, my head starts to rush, and I'm just like, what should I do next? What should I do next? And Gus is really good at just kind of like, here, like do this. And then as I start doing that activity, I get busy, and some of the things that I'm stressed about start to peter away a little. Yeah.
I'm talking a really long time ago. Philadelphia Magazine had an article in it, and they were interviewing a chef, and he had the greatest definition of stress.
Okay.
Stress is created when you have responsibility without authority.
Got it.
So, and that authority is usually you don't know how to do something, or you're being forced to do something. Or you can't complete it.
Or you're not in a position to be able to change kind of what's happening. Right. So you're stuck. You're totally, literally, you're stuck. That's what his definition
this is going to sound funny. We took a class on what's the worst thing that can happen. They throw you in the ground, and at the end of the life, you put dirt on top of you.
Well, this is true. But that's one of the things that I said. We were very stressed out this morning. And I said, this is a temporary situation. This is a snapshot in time. This is not.
We have a lot to accomplish.
We have a lot to accomplish, but it's not insurmountable. It feels like it is, but it's not insurmountable. Number one. Number two, what we're in right now is temporary. So as long as we hit it with what we need to, we'll be fine. But it's also remembering like, hey, I'm healthy. Hey, you're healthy. Although I was worried about you this morning. Hey, the kids are healthy. It's the whole, let's be grateful for the fact that we are able to actually put power behind this situation to get to a different situation rather than
think outside
sit here and give up and be stressed.
Sometimes I have to think outside the box. I was overthinking something this morning, and I realized the best solution was the simplest solution.
Okay. It usually is, right?
It usually is. And
same with me. I was just like, I can sit here and be all upset about this, or I can do something. I can start doing something.
Some of the stuff we were dealing with this morning was coding some stuff. Some of the stuff I was dealing with this morning was
I'm like,
coding.
Why isn't this working? Why can't we do that? Gus is losing his mind. Like, lady, you don't understand.
And I know enough about coding to fix things and be dangerous and break things that goes really far south. But anyway, it's always our business is interesting because we run events, and each event is an individual website, and then they have to be updated, and there's just a lot of moving parts on the back end.
Ton of moving parts.
And then
sometimes things move without us telling them to. Like, we had people speakers who were assigned to the agenda, and now the event is passed, they're not on there. And I'm like, I need this information. It was
funny. I was watching a tutorial on how to code something on the site.
Okay.
And the guy who was showing the tutorial, it wasn't working for him.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and we're trying to serve our customers. This is what's going on. We're trying to make a flawless activity.
Absolutely. So another thing that I do sometimes to relieve stress is just do something completely different. So today was my dad's birthday. I decided I'm going to pick up the phone, call my dad, have a brief conversation, wish him well. And again, it's one of those things that kind of reaches a different part of your head and your heart. So it's enough of a switch gears that I'm not quite thinking too much about what I'm stressed out about. And sometimes you just need to do that, right? I mean, it's like when you have a major problem in front of your face, sometimes the best thing to do is just to walk away from it and go for a walk or go do something else. It triggers a different part of your brain.
It'll work out. It might not work out the way you want to, but it'll work out.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, that's it. And it's just like, okay. And sometimes that just helps me kind of recenter, like, okay, I need to focus on this right now. And then I do. So there's that.
Are you stressed now?
A little, but not. I know I got this. Like, I know I've got it handled. I just then it's you wish everything would hurry up and happen. But yeah, I have a lot of things happening right now in my life. My son's graduating from high school, so I have all of these senior things that are happening.
Not senior moment,
senior things. They're like, oh, there's this meeting, there's a banquet, there's awards, there's this, which is really wonderful. But at the same token, I'm just like, oh, okay, do I have to go to all of these things? And I want to, right? I mean, for my boy. But at the same token, it's just like, okay, I can't do everything, and I can't do everything. And that's another thing. So when you're in a situation where you're completely stressed out, it's good to just stop and then figure out what is absolutely the most important thing that we need to focus on right now.
Yeah, and the other thing that added to our stress this week.
Yes.
We got home at 1:30 in the morning on Monday morning.
Right. So
and they had 5 hours sleep before the day.
Was like, what are we doing? I mean, it was just kind of
trying to catch up from basically 2 weeks of planning an extra. When we're running an event, first of all, my devices were out of my control because we were using both of my devices to run the event.
AV. So I'm like, hey, can you send me this? You're like, no, I can't.
To make it better.
Can you email me that?
To make a better experience for all of our customers, it made the most sense for my devices to be taken out of my hand and used in the production of the event. Which means now we're going to have to buy more laptops because
yes, we'll do that because we can't do that again.
And maybe
there's that. But So another
4 days of no communication.
I was going to say that's it. Another thing that happened while we were busy running our conferences, which is fantastic, we lost momentum on the promotion of other events that we were working on. So it was sort of an abrupt stop right before we left for the events. We went to run the events, ended, and then it's like, okay, let's start that machine back up again. And it's like, okay. So a little rough.
All right, we are going to have to sign off because Ashley's got to run.
Sorry, but thanks for joining us. I hope you learned something today about
even another stressful thing.
Deal with stress.
Even another stressful thing.
Getting this.
I had to reset the studio because we used a lot of stuff in the studio.
I don't know what we're going to talk about, and
so
I have to set all this up.
So for the last half hour, I was resetting and making all the connections back on the studio with the cameras and the lights and the proper positioning of the tripods and all this neat
And
stuff.
you did a great job, honey.
It worked out.
It did. It worked out. See, it works out.
But
Things
anyway,
work out.
thank you guys so much
Thanks
for joining us. And we will see you. If you follow us on the behind the scenes event professional behind the scenes, we'll be back on Thursday at 6:30 Eastern time. We'll see you then.
All right. Take care.